Welcome back, tankers of Blitz universe. You're looking at the ST-1, the tier 9 Russian fortress, or, well, heavy tank as it's called in the tech tree. But this is a true fortress, big gun, big turret. It's a full bells and whistles review as per usual. So that means a few full games, some small little snippets of interesting gameplay. Stats and numbers, armor profile in there, and we're starting off festivities at Fort Despair. This was one of the first games I played in the ST-1 when I started to gather some footage for the review. And when I first got the tank on my own account, on my main account, I didn't really struggle in it because I had watched a few reviews from 48-ton rockers mostly. He has a very good one, big head mode activated, I think it's called, something like that. But the reason I struggled with this one was the fact that it's slow. but not really KV4 slow. I mean, it's quicker than that, but it was slow compared to the IS-8 and the M103. I was used to driving those, so in a way the ST-1 also taught me one or two things about how heavies work, about slow tanks. And if you're not familiar with slow tanks, then maybe this isn't the best one to start at the beginning. But it does give you some more pointers on how to approach the game in a way. And you can see I'm moving very slowly over here, trying to expose only to one person at a time, one tank at a time. I know there's a big T-30 over there, there is still the AMX 5120 over there, there's the Tiger 8.8, I can't really see which gun he's mounting. Hello AMX, one into you and you dunk one into the ground, thank you very much. I'm not sure what that gun is mounted on the Jagd, so that's why I'm not really exposing myself anymore. I'm not sure where the T-30 is he spotted or not, I don't know. But he's popping up over there on the left, so it's safe for us to move in. The AMX seem to be moving away, but I'm still a bit wary of what's happening. But I want to help our team out over here. There's a KV4 platoon on res, one of them is down, there's a pattern over there. Lucky shot on him. And you can manage to pull off some of those trollish lucky RNG shots on this tank. And this is a stock KV4, so not really a problem to us with the turret. He has big problems penetrating our front, as will be shown on the armor inspector views. And we can shoot the pattern over here, and he bounces from 1550 hit points. I can see he's also stuck, so it's basically a Pershing, and well, he will have problems penetrating our front as well. But the meta for this thing, the way of driving it, becomes apparent, I think, from this game. We haven't taken any penetrating hits yet. We're still full hit points, so in that regard, this could be considered a bit of a, well, stupid game, a really scrubby vampire game, which I don't really like if you're being an utter vampire. And we've been getting very nice rolls on tanks lately, but this one is stupid. I mean, 420 average alpha, we'll show that in stats and numbers in a minute or so. And you don't finish off that AMX, but we're doing nice. We're rolling around over here, shooting the T-30, turning the tank again to go hold on behind those, behind that big pile of rubble. And we win this game fairly easily. We held the line, that's what you can do in this tank, hold the line, and no problem whatsoever in it. But like I said, this does force you into a different type of gameplay if you're used to the quick tanks. If you have driven a Hellcat or whatever, you really have to rework and rethink your process, because it is a slow tank, it is a good tank, it is a true heavy in that regard. And yeah, let's dive into all the bits we have for the usual full bells and whistles review. Right, as per usual, tank compare again on blitzstars.com. We have the ST on the left, all the other tier 9 mediums on the right, and on the far right you can see I have selected the ST-1 as well. And the reason I'm doing that is Compare tanks allows you to compare tanks, not just tanks with another one, so for example ST-1 with an IS-8, but you can also compare a tank in different configurations, and the ST-1 on the right side has a stock turret, and that's something you have to take into account when you're grinding this line, because the ST, it's a monster tank, it's a monster hull down beast, but only with a top turret. Top turret is on the left, stock turret is on the right. That means that only with the top turret can you mount a 122mm M62 T2 gun, and this gives you the stats as shown here. You can already see that the Conqueror is far better in terms of DPM, and so are the IS-8, the M103 and the AMX 50-120, and of course that one, the French tank, being an autoloader, has burst damage, and the E75 and VK45 are a bit behind in terms of DPM. But those three, both the STI, the E75 and the VK, those are the tanks, those are the true heavies. The other tanks more or less rely on mobility and gun. These are the heavy tanks, these are for holding the line. And the ST does that really well. You can see in terms of weapon handling, a lot of their of its counterparts get far better statistics than the ST. But one thing stands out pretty much if you compare the ST to the IS-8, -8 gun repression. Really handy and not very Russian-like. Then again, all the other tanks have their mobility, especially power to weight ratio, a lot better, except for indeed the true heavies, the E75 and the VK45. But you can see in the armor department, hull armor and turret armor, this thing is a beast. It is a really good tank if you can get it hull down, and I'm going to show you just that after I've shown you armor inspector and the garage views. And if you take a look at this armor profile straight up front, STI with the top turret on it, this is the view from the BL-10 gun from the Object 704, the TNN Russian tank destroyer, and that's a lot of red on the turret. Hull, front, paper, no problem whatsoever cutting through. But if you can get it hull down like this, and you use the maximum gun depression of 8, there we go, gun down, 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 down. There we go, just a little bit more, there it is, 8 degrees, just look at that. There's a lot of red on both sides of the turret. Of course you have the cheeks over there, these can be penned, no problem whatsoever. And you can see 286 penetration on AP from the Object 704, that's a lot of pen power, and yeah, the ST can bounce those shots. The cupola, it is a weak spot, but if you get it at a distance, I mean this is pretty much zoomed in, look at it, weak spots, very small to hit. You have to have a very lucky roll of RNG or have to aim very carefully, and then you will be able to shoot through those hatches, but 9 out of 10 times no problem whatsoever. So hull down is the name of the game. You can side script in it because it's a Russian tank, obviously. Don't over-angle it, it's always a bad thing to do, but side scraping and hull down, that's how you can do this, that's how you have to play this tank. This is not a tank for the open areas, you have to be very careful with it because of the bad mobility, but get it into a strong position where you can go hull down and side scrape, and you will have a field day. But before we go off into more action, a few quick notes on consumables and provisions. As you can see, not a lot that is very surprising. Repair, multi-repair and adrenaline. You could probably fit a first aid kit, might be useful because your driver gets hit a fair few times. You could do with double fuel, but I like to have double rations to improve everything on my tank. So that's why I'm using these. Ammo loaded over here, 22, 12 and 6. I have a bit more. I had 3 or 4 fitted HE, but with advent of light tanks I'd like to have some more HE. And here's the equipment loadout, mostly on the left side except for the improved assembly and the toolbox. Then into the grind. Yeah, like I mentioned in the stats and numbers already, if you go to the ST you have to go from the KV4. And the KV4 has these guns over here, the ZIS-6, the D252, the D252, you get the top turret, and then the ZIS-24, and then you can unlock the ST, and as you can see you use the D252 and then the BL9 and this one, the 122 M62. But hello, BL9, where do I get the BL9? Do I have to grind it on the ST? No, there's a small trick. You can grind it on the IS3. Yeah, I would really recommend to do that. Grind the BR9 on the IS-3, because with stock gun, I mean the stocky gun, the ST is a very socky tank. If it's stock, it kind of sucks. It really does, because if it's stock, you don't have this much strongness on the turret that you have when it's top tier. And if you're top or bottom tier, and if you're bottom tier, you will be able to bounce shots from big guns from tier 10 all day long if you are a bit lucky, obviously. But then again, not a bad trade-off. I put one shot into that E4 and he bounced a shot on me, so that's one shot into him, bouncing 640 alpha, lovely jubbly. And that means I'm going back again. I have worked out my angle over here, and I pretty much lay my gun flat on the ground over there. Nope, I haven't got a shot yet at the E100, so just simply roll back, forcing nothing, working a process in there. There we go. Can I shoot the E4? Nope, he misses and I miss as well. But you can see he's, well, a bit scared of me as well, and I'm rolling in, trying to bait a shot out of the E100. Doesn't materialize. We can track him for no damage, but we can track him, and that's good anyway. Because if I do manage to track him, then he can't go for my teammates, and we do track him again. There we go. Thank you very much. He shoots our fellow E100, and you can see we're simply holding the line over here. There's nothing really fancy about it. E4 wanted to bait a shot. Look at the alpha. 640 again, bounced from me. Thank you very much. We dunk one into the ground. I wanted to shoot the cupola, but no problem. Doesn't materialize there. That's a 550 shot. That means the E100 is getting desperate. We're bouncing heat shots from E100. We can put one through into the girders again, into those wooden plates on the right side. But yeah, we're still held down over here, and still simply working a process. Being held down, holding the line, no problem whatsoever. And I know they will pop up over there. There it is. And I have a bit more gun depression than the E4, so I can put one into as a lower plate and then reverse into cover and reload again. That's the process you have to do, I think, in my opinion. That's how you have to play this tank. Play it sneaky, play it slowly. You can reverse side scrape in it. Again, you can see we're holding the line over here. There's an E50 behind us. I'm not ready to turn around yet. I drive it at. Yep. But we are holding the line over here against that IS-3. Probably should have side scraped out to him, and maybe I should have turned around to take care of that EMX, of that E50 a bit quicker, but the EMX is helping us out, and I decided to try my best at reverse side scraping. I failed miserably at the first attempt, but on the next one we do it fairly well. Put the back of the tank into the wall and turn your turret backwards, and then you have to think about, okay, I have to press forward to reverse out of cover. But you can see he wants to get a shot of us. We bounce one on the side. He still wants to get a shot of us into us, and he gets killed. So yeah, lovely jubbly in that regard, and no problem whatsoever. And actually, upon reflecting what I just said in that reverse side scraping snippet, I don't think sneaky is the word really for it. Steadily, slow-paced, in a process, that's what you have to do. So that's why I'm going over here on our rock field. We are bottom tier, as you can see. OP140 is over there, FE is over there. And what I want to do here is slowly go forward, because I could see the 140, he was there, and I knew he would probably roll in towards me once I got myself shown over here. But you know, hold down, good turn front, I can go hold down. I bounce a shot of him. We try to shoot him on a turret, but we miss. But okay, he misses us as well, so that's all well and good. And it might look like I'm sort of running away, but I'm trying to come into a position where it is very good for me to stay over here. And that OP140 is already getting desperate, firing HE at me. Lovely, no problem whatsoever. And some more HE, that's 50 hit points off of me. But I can just sit here and hold the line, and that is a tier 9 heavy holding the line against a tier 10 medium and a tier 9 medium and a tier 9 heavy. And as long as I'm sitting over here and can put a shot into him where he bounces one of me, then it's all well and good. I now have a T62 on my back. I don't like T62s on my back, be it in any tank I am. So I decided to move in over here because I can go slightly hold on over here as well, and then hope that the T-62 gets taken care of. That's another heat shot bounce from the 140. Leopard PT has terrible gun depression over the back, so he bounces a shot off of me. I should have moved forward earlier or stayed back. And that's the thing in terms of slow paced, which I have to address too. But we're doing fine in that regard. We're bouncing shots again from the Oblique 140. We're sort of held down against the top of the PTA front, and you can see I'm turning again, keeping my strongest armor post to the front, the tank which is facing me the most dangerous one, and that's another 640 blocks, 240 from the Object 140 and 400 blocks from 260 and 400 block from the Conqueror. I wanted to load HE, but no problem. Grill finishes off, and we can shoot the Object 140 again, and we've bounced a fair few shots on this game. And we held the line, we pushed, we're fairly aggressive, and now we can support our little grill. Heat on the side of that IS-7 turret side, but that didn't go through on the turret front. And the Object wants to have a piece of either me or the grill, so yeah, back to AP, because we can then, there we go, shoot him for 411, and then he gets whacked. Thank you very much. So we load our adrenaline, and we load a heat shield, and we wanted to finish off this IS-7, but we shoot him straight through, I don't know where he went, tracks or whatever. But we held the line very nicely. We kept 2 tanks at bay over there. We kept, well, the Conqueror a bit busy, but especially that Object 140. He had no chance of pushing through. We held the flank over there, and that's how you have to play this tank. It's a flank hold at 3.2 damage. It's really not a lot, but we bounced a fair few shots, and we got some assistance damage as well. So yeah, nice, lovely little game over there as bottom tier. But fear not if you're bottom tier in this tank, as long as you play it slowly, because yeah, you do have 1800 hit points, but your sides are weak. Your front is weak as long as it is on flat ground, and if people get the time to aim, you will lose your driver and you become even more vulnerable in that regard. So yeah, almost on upwards to the last game of the review. Top tier, this time we are on Vineyards. It's Supremacy. This is going to be the ace game, and well, I didn't really want to go to town on this one. It's an ace game, so you could say in a way we are going to town. Stupid joke. No, the reason I'm not pushing for the city on this one is obvious from the lineups. We have 3 heavies, Reds have 5, we have a Borsig which isn't at home in the town, and I wanted to go in over here. I was hoping for the 54 to spot A, but he doesn't, so I decided to go in on A and perhaps spot it. And well, the game is unfolding like I was hoping or predicting. I'm not spotting now, so I can probably poke out and shoot a shell into that AMX. There we go. I'm already going forward into cover, turning my tank, going hull down. Not spotted, thank you very much, so we can put another shot into him. A is captured. There we go. Is he over there? Slightly side scraping out. Yes, there he is still, AMX. And you can see the shell velocity of the gun. It's not brilliant, but it's good enough. So yeah. Reds in the meantime have pushed pretty hard into our spawn already, but I am not willing to risk any shots yet, so I'm trying to look for shots on the AMX. Not available, I8 not available, E75 not available, so we might as well try to go back to our spawn because our Carnarvon is calling for help. The Object 704 is in the middle as well. Borsig is already down. That's unfortunate. We missed a shot on the ISU 152, but I can also see his stock as the derp howitzer, so that's all well and good. And yeah, bit of an error here I think in taking the time to shoot the Conqueror. Maybe should have switched off my sniper mode, my auto aim, but we bounce it on the front, we bounce a shot in return as well, so that's all well and good. And we get some friendly advice from the Borsig. ST, you're alone. I'm not alone, there's an M103 to my right. But then you get a very comforting and reassuring message that the M103 is lost. Yeah, which seems the norm for some players these days. But I want to get shot in on this AMX now. And there we go. Luckily the M103 shoots him as well. He's reloading probably. I don't know what he's doing, but he seems to be reloading. But they're pushing hard on this side. IS-8 is over here, AMX 50 120 is over here, and they still have the 54 lightweight and the ISU 152. So that's a lot of hit points, and I really want to go and go more hold on and get some cover. I do stuff up slightly in say the next few seconds because I'm trying to get a shot in on it 50 120. That's stupid. That's risking too much, and this is what I mean by keep it slowly, keep it steadily. I was hoping I would be able to put that kill shot in because I could already see we were 2 tanks behind, but I should have stayed back a bit more because I'm losing hit points to this IS-8 and it really wasn't necessary. The trade-off 377 done to me, 420 to him is a good one, but I rather would have avoided losing those hit points to him, even though we bounced another shot on a turret. But I would have wanted to avoid getting shot in the first place, and that was being too aggressive. Luckily we can kill the 54 lightweight over here. He decided not to run around, but stop in front of a gun. Thank you very much. So that leaves the Conqueror. There's a one-shot Object 704 over there. There's 3 shots E75 over there. He bounces a shot on our arse. Thank you very much. The T49 finishes off the Conqueror. In terms of gameplay, I haven't got a clue what he was doing by just driving around left and right and making a complete circle. So we are winning ever so slightly. But then again, there are there's one shot green with us, just a 704 left. And I really want to get out that 5120 now. I can't cap the base because they will know I'm here. Luckily 5120 available. Put a shot into him. That means we are in the lead now. And it's just the E75 over there. And this is a shot which I am willing to take because that means I can sustain the hit points. I can put a shell into him after shooting him. And if he would have shot that Object 704, then it would have been a bit of a different game. So we're winning 3 kills for the 704, 3 kills for us, and this is our mastery game in the ST-1, and this sort of concludes the review. So this is a tank for people who would like to play the game steadily, slowly, and if you want to learn that type of gameplay rather than just driving around turping people to death and using muchos DPMs. This is a very strong tank, hold on, but use it cautiously, and yeah, that would be my advice. Thank you very much all for support of the channel. Please join our Discord, link is in the description below, and also keep an eye out for more videos later coming from Minsk, hopefully in the next within a week or 2. More reviews on both console and WoT Blitz are coming up as well. I say for now, cheers ladies and gentlemen, and happy tanking!